What's the trick to getting Google reviews? I'm gonna share some of my top tips in this video, so tune in and take some notes. The first thing is that review generation needs to be a part of your process. It needs to be baked in to the way that you do every project immediately. That's the only way that you're gonna get consistent reviews. So what does that look like? It looks like going out to Mrs. Smith to do that estimate, proposing the job to her, presenting her with the pricing and all the other options, and say, hey, Mrs. Smith, my job here is to do such an amazing job on your project that you're excited to leave us a 5-star review when we're all said and done. So what that does is it opens up that dialogue, it kind of plants that seed. You're getting a micro commitment, a micro yes from Mrs. Smith, so that when you go back to the end of the job and you ask for that review, you're not just bringing up cold, you are referencing a previous conversation you've already had. Now fast forward to the end of that job where you're doing your final walk around, your final closing out the job, picking up that check. This is where you reference that initial conversation and close that loop with Mrs. Smith. Hey, Mrs. Smith, remember when I told you that my goal was to do such an amazing job with your roof that you're excited to leave us a 5-star review? Well, now I would love if you could take just 2 minutes to leave us a review on Facebook, on Google, on our platform, whatever it is. And then hand her your phone, hand her the iPad that's already brought up to the window where she can leave that review. Don't just say, hey, Mrs. Smith, can you go on your phone and leave us a review? She's gonna have to fumble around like your website or Facebook or Google and try to jump through a couple hoops to leave that review. No, have it open on your phone, your iPad, to whatever the platform is, if it's Google, if it's Facebook, if it's something like Bird Eye or Podium or Signpost where they can leave that review. Make it as simple as possible for Mrs. Smith to just go in and leave that review. So the fact that you had planted that seed at the very beginning and told her what your goal was, and then you followed through on that goal, and that project was on time, on budget, any issues were taken care of, you are showing her that you are a person of your word, and she is more than happy to leave you that review. The second key thing is to get that review before you leave the property. I hate to break it to you, but once you leave that property, you're out of sight, out of mind to Mrs. Smith for the most part. The chances of you getting a review from Mrs. Smith after you leave that property go down significantly. So the best time to do it is to do it while you're closing out that job. Hey, Mrs. Smith, here's my phone, here's my iPad. Would you mind just leaving a review, taking a couple of minutes to do that? While you do that, I'm just gonna walk around your property. I'm gonna check for nails. I'm gonna make sure everything is right. I'm gonna make sure that we're leaving your property better than we found it. So get that review before you leave the property. How many times have you been to a restaurant or a hotel or gone on vacation somewhere and you're blown away, you're excited, you're having a good time, you're having a great meal, and you have every intention of leaving a great review. But then you get home and it just you forget about it, right? And I know it happens all the time with me, but if I were at a restaurant that I'm really enjoying and I have the opportunity from the server to leave a review right then and there on the spot, I am like 100 times more likely to leave that review. So make sure you get that review before you leave the property. A review generation process is something you want to bake into your roofing company immediately. Over 90% of consumers consult online reviews before they make a buying decision. So people are out there, they're checking you out, they are doing their research. And on top of that, Google and other search engines, as well as Facebook and social media platforms, are increasingly adding more weight to things like social proof and trust signals and online reviews. So the more high quality reviews you get are not only going to impress your prospects, your clients, but they're going to impress Google and Facebook, which is where a lot of your prospects are doing their research on you. So hope that these tips have helped. And again, make sure that you install a review generation process and system into your roofing company so you can get those reviews consistently and with predictability.